All right, it is Monday. It is 1 p.m. It is time for the Monday message. So excited to be back in the studio talking with everybody today. I heard we had a great call last week with Adam Burge. It's always good sales training happening. I think I saw Mimi post that there was some hard truths getting said or something like that. So I got good feedback from that call. So that's fantastic. I'm fired up to be back in here with you today. Here's what I want to talk about after we go through the leaderboards. I want to talk about determination because let me tell you something. All the important things in life, it pays the finishers well, right? And I'm talking a happy marriage. I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about money through the business. Life is going to pay the finishers well. People that finish well are simply more determined than other people. The people that don't finish well, the people that get 80% of the way there and call it good. The people that get 85% of the way there and call it good. The people that get 90% of the way there and call it good. The people that get 95% of the way, 99%, life is going to pay the finishers. That's why people that perform at a high level, that's why it looks easier for them. Because quite frankly, when you have the determination to finish well, you collect all the excess that was left by everybody that stopped short. You get to collect all that excess if you finish well. And I'm telling you, during the holidays, the insurance industry in general, the financial industry in general, they don't think it can be done. So guess what? They don't get it done. So the reason I want to talk about determination today is there's going to be a whole lot for me and you to get to over these next 5 weeks. So let's get right into our leaderboards from the week that was. All righty, look, all the producers over 1,000. Aaron, Ryan, Jeanette, Rogers, and Kim, Charisma, Dan Hoyt, you got Eli, you got Ray, Sierra, Michelle, Julian, you got Jeff, Mimi Ramiro there. You got Matt, you got Steven, Sarah, Mike Guerra, you got Heather, you got Melissa, Summer, Capina, David Fleming right there, Freddie, Robert Averett. He's getting it. I'm just telling you, he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with in 2025. He's gonna be one of those people that everybody's gonna be like, well, where did he come from? I'm just telling you, that's what's gonna happen. Marissa, Aaron, you got David Helgeson, you got Kalen, you got Andre Lee, Jessica Rasmussen, Tom Payne, Dave O'Brien, 5 apps for 5,300. Adam and Cindy Burge, 5,500. Cleo, $6,058.92. I am coming to Oakland soon. I think we'll have all those dates here in just a second. And then we got Nikki coming in at $6,134.88. Let's look at the top five from the week that was. Janet Brush down there in Houston. Jeremico Edwards coming strong. Look at Sabrina coming strong. $8,601. I see you, Sabrina. Let's make sure me and you chat today sometime. Then I was able to get some apps in and around while traveling. Then you got Haley coming in number one. Way to go, Haley. $9,702.72. Love seeing new names take the number one slot. That is real growth, folks. Real growth. All right. Top 5 paychecks. Janet Brush pulling in over $4,787 last week. Nick Greco depositing $5,596.49. I see you, Sabrina. That the business is paying off. All the business you're writing is paying off. $5,642.83. Adam Burge deposited last week $8,128.81. And Mike Guerra with the top paycheck last week, $9,814.67 deposited last week alone. Way to go, Guerra. Nice paycheck. You think about that. That is a $500,000 a year pace. I mean, it's not. Guerra's got a growing team, but it's not like he has 400 people on his team. I mean, you can be at that $500,000 to 600,000, 700,000, 800,000 faster than you think is possible. I'm just telling you, it's just math. All right, top 5 year-to-date producers. You got Helgenson there in the 5 spot. You got Aaron Wilson in the 4 spot. Jeremico, you making some moves here. You closing the distance between you and number 1 and number 2. Number 2, Nick Greco. That battle keeps going back and forth. Number 1, year-to-date, through last week, Adam and Cindy Burge. Way to go, guys. This is going to be fun to watch to the end because you got 3 people within striking distance of each other. That's going to be fun to watch as we wind down the year here. Recruiting last week, Mercedes, Robert Averett, Adam Burge, and Harry all had 1 direct completed fast track. The base shop had 4. Mercedes had a completed contract last week, and the base shop had 5 direct completed contracts last week. 5 direct to us in the base. And so here's what that means. We passed ABN. We are the #1 with recruiting machine in all of the Alliance. Come with us, man. Come with us. Let's get you recruiting at that level. I'm just telling you, if you only knew what it would do for your income and your security and your stability, you would go crazy doing it. So right now, the top 5 in the whole Alliance, you got Jared Doucette, you got Andy Albright's base, you got Mike and Noah Leventovich, Alex Amian, and now the new #1. And by the way, we are going to put a boot on it. You know what I'm saying? We are going to stomp this thing into the ground the rest of the year. We're going to celebrate what we just did, but we ain't stopping. So I am so fired up about what we're doing here in the base shop. My travel schedule, I'm going to run going into the end of this year, right? So I just got back off that trip. We had some great meetings, Salt Lake City, great meeting in Dallas, one of the biggest Dallas meetings we've had this year. Atlanta, same way. Atlanta was a big meeting. But the next meeting is next Monday. I will be in Detroit, Michigan. If you got anybody in the Midwest, get them there. And just think, who do you know? Who do you know in Michigan, Indiana, Ohio? Who do you know up there that we can get to that meeting? I'm going to be in Oakland, California. I've committed seriously with Andy Albright to take over the West Coast. After some conversations we have had, we are going to take over the West Coast. So Oakland, California, December 9, that's when the takeover starts. And I'm going to repeat that run, Salt Lake, Dallas, Atlanta. So you've got plenty of time now to get folks out there in Utah, Texas. Dallas, Texas should be the easiest place in the world for us to recruit as the Alliance, because that's where our headquarters is, in Dallas, Texas. You can point at the building in the skyline and go, that's us. And then I'll be back in Atlanta on the 18th. December 7th. Now, that's the boot camp, the special boot camp here at the office. Get your tickets to the boot camp. The reason we do a ticket for it is because we're going to feed you twice and we're going to have a party. I'm just telling you, we've got some new things on the agenda that we're going to, it's going to be fun. I'm just telling you, it's going to be fun. It's going to be informative. Get 2, 3, 4 more people there. I'm telling you, we will. I'm committing. If you're brand new, we will take 6 months off the learning curve. Just join us on that Saturday. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be educational. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come join us. And then, of course, the big event that we're going to drive everybody to through our boot camp, through the meetings I'm doing on the road, National Convention, Dallas, Texas, going to be epic. All right. So let's get into the material for today. Here's what I want to talk about: determination. And I'll give you some of the reasons why. Let me just tell you something. Happy people are determined people. I'm always telling people there are GSD people and there are non-GSD people. You can draw a line between all of civilization, and there are people that get stuff done, or there are people that cannot get stuff done. And it's so funny to me because the non-get stuff done people, they look at the get stuff done people and they can't understand it. They can't figure it out. They think the get stuff done people are just fortunate. Oh, they're just in a better situation than me. That's why they're so good at getting stuff done. Now, let me tell you something. It comes down to one characteristic. The people that get stuff done just are more determined. The more determined person always wins. Just like in a sale, right? When you go to make a sale, if you do not have a higher level of determination than the client, then the client's going to win, right? The client wants to hold on to their money. You want to get them a policy. Whoever's more determined wins. That's why low performers, the client is more determined. Does that make sense? Same thing in recruiting, right? We have gotten really good at recruiting here, but we're just getting started. When the reason we're out recruiting the entire Alliance is we are here at the base shop. We're more determined than the rest of the Alliance. It's not magic. It's funny because everybody we were at the NC State game. And everybody wants to know the secrets. So what is going on with y'all's recruiting? What are you doing? And it's like, bro, we're just doing the basics. We're just doing them better, harder, and more determined than everybody else. That's it. That's it. So this quality of determination serves you well, not just in a sale, not just in a recruit, but in life, right? I am determined to have a thriving family. So I will stay up late. I will get up early. I will do whatever it takes. Does that make sense? That's what we're getting to here. And so what I want to give you is 8 quick things to help you raise your level of determination. 8 things that will help me raise my level of determination, because whoever is more determined, that's who's going to win. And for you to have a better 2025 than 2024, you're going to have to be more determined. You have to be more determined. You're going to have more grit, more growl, more get it done. But here's the crazy thing. We're not talking about double the work. Remember, the reason that most people don't get stuff done is they stop at 80%, they stop at 85%, they stop at 90%. When you and I get that last 10%, that's the easiest 10% you're ever going to get. Why? Because everybody else has quit. Everybody else has let up. It's that last 10%. It's so much easier. And you ask any experienced agent, they'll tell you they have weeks where it's just like nothing is clicking. And then all of a sudden, 5 big ones all click at the end of the week. Well, what's the difference? They did what it took. Does that make sense? Versus going, well, I guess it's just not going to happen this week. I guess it's just not going to happen. Right. So let's go over these basics on determination. The first is to have clear goals. We have had a clear goal that we were going to catch and pass Abby. And at one point, we were about 70 recruits behind him. And it sounded crazy at that time to say it, but by God, we were going to do it. I mean, that was our goal, to be the number one recruiter in the whole alliance. And we're going to do it again in 2025. We have very clear goals. Does that make sense? Sales, what is your crystal clear goal for the week, for the month? Because when it's crystal clear, then you have to push through. You have to get those 3 extra appointments in. You have to make those 20 extra dials to get the 3 extra appointments that you need. You have to. Does that make sense? When you have a clear goal on recruiting, you will find the $800 to invest in Indeed. That's not about one app. Does that make sense? It's not about one app. It's not like you got to mortgage the house to get that done, to get, you know what I'm saying? So it's just having those crystal clear goals. The reason most people lack determination is they don't have crystal clear goals, either because they don't understand the power of them, which is true for most people, right? It's true for most people, or they're just scared. They're scared to set a goal. They're scared to set something clear. Because what's the problem with clarity? The problem with clarity is either you did it or you didn't, right? Think about how clear our recruiting goal is. We will pass Alex Abian and be the number one recruiter in the whole alliance this year. That's crystal clear. That is not a wussy-footed goal. And it was a heavy lift at one point. I'm just telling you, but we got it done. So same thing for you. What is your crystal clear specific goal for the rest of the year? Because let me tell you something. During the holidays, you're going to have 2 things happen. 1, you're going to have some people that want to put it off till after the holiday. 2, you're going to write more business than everybody else if you just simply put in some extra work during the holidays, just a little earlier and a little later. But let me tell you something, selling during the holidays, it is one of the easiest times to sell. Yes, you will have a few more people put you off, but let me tell you what everybody's getting ready to do on Thursday. Some are going to do it. This is going to start Wednesday night for some folks, right? For all the lazy agents in the industry outside of what we do, they've already started. They've already given up. It's like you can't sell during the holidays. I'm serious. I've heard it for 24 years. You can't sell during the holidays. We sell a heck of a lot during the holidays. Just get your mind right. But here's what they're going to do. They're going to sit around and they're going to talk about who isn't with them this year, who they've lost over the course of the year. Family and fatality are top of the mind this time of year. So if you set a clear goal that will make you dig a little deeper than you normally do, you will pick up some of the biggest policies you ever pick up. Every November and every December, people break their personal bests. But you've got to have that crystal clear goal. It all starts with that. And the reason I'm hammering this is because without that, right, I'm going to write 30,000 in November. I'm going to write 30,000 in December. I'm going to write 40,000 in December. Without that clarity, none of the rest of it matters. Does that make sense? All right. The second thing is have a growth mindset. So you set a goal. The reason a lot of people give up on their goals is they have a fixed mindset. They think they are a certain way, right? They think, well, I'm just not a bold person. I'm just not a fired up person. Let me tell you something. Here's what's crazy. When you talk to Andy Albright's relatives, they will tell you that he was a very, very timid young man. He has crafted the person that he has decided to become because of what he wanted to get done. So when you think you're when you think it's fixed, like this is who I am, this is just who I am, this is just this is just who I am, you're toast. You're toast. Why? Because when you make mistakes, You think it's something that can't be fixed because that's who you are. When you come up short, you think it can't be fixed. You and I have to have a growth mindset. There's a great book on this, and we're getting ready to start reading it as a staff. We do. If you work on my staff here, you have to read. I was loving agents say, "Well, I'm not a reader." It's like, well, I would fire you at my office. You would not. I would fire you. I don't want to be around non-growth mindset people. I don't want to. They're so hard to be around. You just so rigid. Everything no advice that you can give works for them because they're just the way they are. So, anyways, you want to read with us this book we're reading. It's called Mindset by Carol Dweck. 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 It's all about mindset, and she breaks down the world between fixed mindset and growth mindset people. That this book will help you get a growth mindset. It'll remind you, just like it's going to remind me about having a growth mindset. Because there are times I'll say stuff and I'm like, that is a fixed mindset. The heck is wrong with you, son? Get your mind right. Good Lord. You are not a finished product. I am not a finished product. You're not a finished product either. A lot of people are finished products because they're not going to try. So they are as good as they're going to ever be. And that just is what it is. So set clear goals, have a growth mindset. Number 3, self-discipline. Now let me give you a secret on self-discipline. You and I only have so much self-discipline. It is a finite amount of self-discipline. We can grow it. We can double it, but we can grow it. You can become more disciplined. One of the cheat codes in life is to make the important things habits, because habits require zero self-discipline, right? They require zero self-discipline. So the stuff that you and I are supposed to do to win, once we get it to be a habit, it no longer uses up or depletes any of our self-discipline. So that gives us more self-discipline to use. Does that make sense? Like jumping on the bike this morning. That's just one of my habits, right? It's not I don't have to get them go, oh, should I oh, okay. I don't think about it for a split second because it's a habit. Does that make sense? No different than brushing your teeth, right? Have any of you ever like just gotten to the sink and it's in at night and you're just like, I don't know if I don't know if I should brush my teeth. Oh, come on, man. You can do this. You can brush your teeth. Just God, dig deep. No, you brush your teeth without thinking about it. Why? Because it's a habit. So it's the same cheat code that I'm talking about, right? Reading every morning. I read every morning. Why? Because it's a habit. I don't even think about it. I don't even think about it. It's called forced functions. It's called action triggers, whatever you want to call it, right? I get my coffee, I read. That's exactly what I do every morning. I am not hard to find. You can ask Holly. I am not hard to find throughout the day. I am not, and it's if you're around me all day, you're not gonna be going, I wonder what's next. Like once you're around me for a day or two, you're like, nope, I know exactly what's next. I'm saving myself discipline. Does that make sense? That's why nothing terrible ever happens at Starbucks at 10 a.m., right? When someone has ruined their life, right? Blew up their family, just ruined their life. No one goes, well, so how did it happen? How did that happen? How'd you get here? Nobody starts that story with, well, here I am at Starbucks at 10 a.m. getting my coffee in. No, what? It's always in a bar late at night. Right? Nothing good happens after 12, right? I'm just like that because self-discipline's used up and you make a bad decision. So save your self-discipline, make the important stuff habits. Make the important stuff habits. Now I did say you can grow your self-discipline, and that is true because the more you do what you're supposed to do, the more times you do what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it in the spirit of service that it deserves, you do grow self-discipline like a muscle. But there is a finite cap. So build habits. It's a cheat code. All right. Number 4, celebrate small wins. We are about to celebrate a small win. We are not going to run a victory lap for passing Avian, but we are going to celebrate a small. It's a win, man. We passed them. I told them at conference I was going to pass them. I told everybody at conference I was going to pass them. I was like, well, got to do it now. Got to do it now, but celebrate the small wins along the way. Hey, we just hit our first week of 3 contracted agents. Awesome. Have a nice glass of wine and then get back to work. Does that make sense? Celebrate the small wins along the way. The first agent writes the first person on your team. You got your first override. That's a win. Celebrate it and then move, right? Acknowledge, celebrate, and move. Number 5, stay positive and resilient. If and this is why the reading is so important, because you will not stay positive. You and I will not stay positive if we're not filling our mind every day with positive stuff, because we have to go operate in a world that is very negative, very cynical, very just ew, ugh, people are so negative. I've got to feed my mind positive stuff or I'm going to become like that. There's no that you cannot beat the association principle, right? If you put a sponge in gasoline, it will turn into gasoline. We're going to have to operate around some negative people. We're going to have some negative things happen. So we have got to be proactively built up and ready to go. So something positive every single day. Let me give you a tip on being positive and resilient. When you start to feel a slide, right? I just heard this in a Pearl Jam song this morning. Every winner has had a losing streak. Yeah, you're gonna have that. I was like, oh, that's good. I'm gonna use that on the show. Every winner is gonna have a losing streak. So when that happens, have a plan, have a resilience strategy, have a bounce back strategy. Y'all know I'm big on music. I love reversing things with music, right? Do 15 push-ups, go run around the building, do something to break the schneid. Don't let it continue. Does that make sense? Have a plan. Have someone you can reach out to. I've told people before that, like, hey, just text me the word encouragement, and I will, as soon as I can get to you, I will give you some encouragement, right? Have a plan. That's the biggest. People that stay positive and resilient, they're not superhumans. Like the people you look at, man, they're so positive and they just push through stuff. They're not superhumans. They just have a strategy. That's all that it is. That's why I am so obsessive about my reading and my personal growth, because I don't know what's happening next, right? I just know something bad's gonna happen. So I need to be ready, right? I need to be ready for when that happens, right? The whole hurricane thing. Nobody, nobody was thinking that would happen. I mean, that's like worrying about getting caught in a blizzard in Miami Beach, right? A hurricane in the mountains up here. It's never happened, right? I'm grateful that I was reading and developing before it happened. Does that make sense? So having that plan, that's how you stay positive and resilient. You can't do it through willpower alone. The people you see do it, they're not doing it through willpower. They just simply have a plan. They feed their mind, they feed their heart, and then they have a plan for when they get discouraged because they know it's inevitable. The people that are just super positive and think nothing ever bad's going to happen, I mean, they're the ones that end up the most depressed because they're shocked that something happened, right? Like when the hurricane came through, I wasn't like, oh my God, how could this ever be? It's like, well, bad things happen. Got to be ready. Got to have your mind right. All right, number 6, and this ties right into that. Seek inspiration. Seek out stuff that inspires you. I love finding stuff that inspires me. I'm actually rereading a book right now. I've always got 5 or 6 books going. I'm rereading a book right now that's super inspiring. It's called Shoe Dog. It's about Phil Knight and how he built Nike, and it's so funny. And as I'm reading it, I'm like, yeah, yeah, Phil, because he wrote it. It's not like a book about him. It's him telling the story of how Nike came to be. And it's just one train wreck after another. And then things go great. And then there's another train wreck. And then things go great. And then there's another train wreck. And then things go great. And then there's a lawsuit. And then things go great. And then this happens. And then and I'm just rereading it going, yeah, I love this book. Like I love stuff that inspires me. Does that make sense? Find stuff that inspires you. If you're waiting for someone to inspire you, you will not be inspired. Find stories that inspire you. Get around people that inspire you. Spencer was out on the road this week. He was with us on the first couple, and then when I went on to Atlanta, he went on to Phoenix with Mike and Noel, and he said, I'm obviously recruiting these areas, but I want to get around the people that inspire me. I want to get around the people that inspire me. That's get around the people that inspire you. Hey, find the track. Go on theallianceevents.com. Hey, meet me in a city, meet one of the other top leaders in a city, get around people that inspire you. Inspiration is not going to hit you laying on the couch. You're going to have to go seek it, right? That's why it's seek inspiration, not let inspiration happen to you, right? Nobody's like, I was laying on the couch and I was inspired. Those people, be careful. If someone says that, they might try and put you in their trunk or in their suitcase or something. That's not inspiration that they're hearing. It's never going to hit you on the couch. You're going to have to go seek it. You're going to have to go find it. I am an inspiration seeking machine. I'm telling you. All right. Number 7, practice visualization. I forget what book we were reading as a staff. I think it was a staff. Yeah. was a staff book we're reading, I think. I don't know. Like I said, I've always got 5 or 6 books going, sometimes more. Depends on what I've got going on in my life. So I'll see a book or a book will talk about another book. I'm like, I'll buy that book too. Well, when a book shows up at our house from Amazon, it's like, yep, that was in a book he was reading or something happened, right? I was like, I want that book too. We got 5 or 6 going, so it's hard for me to remember exactly where I get stuff a lot of times. But they talked about destination postcards. In other words, where you're going, having a destination postcard, picturing it, visualizing it. What is it like going to be when you get there? Doing that stuff daily is another thing that you want to make a habit. Every day I think about how bright the future is going to be. I think about what we've got. Holly and I have some trips we want to do with our children that we're like, that I think about that stuff constantly. It's a destination postcard. It makes it easier to do the things I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do them in the spirit of service I'm supposed to do them in. It makes it so much easier to do that when I'm picturing where we're going with it. Hey, it's no different than if you want to have a thriving marriage. You better have some destination postcards, man. Why? Because you're gonna go through some stuff. You're gonna have some frustrating days. You're gonna have days where sometimes you act less than intelligent. You're gonna have some days where maybe they act less than intelligent. You've got to you've got to push through that again in the spirit of service that it deserves. Destination postcards, picturing what it's going to be like, what the future is going to be like. Again, it makes it easier to do the things you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do them. In the spirit of service, you're supposed to do them. All right. Number 8, how do you eat an elephant? Right? One bite at a time. Right? How do you do anything? One bite at a time. We said we were going to catch and we we're going to pass Alex Abian. And if we just left it at that, what are we going to do? Right? You got to break it down into smaller chunks. Well, first, we need to get to this pace a week. Not for the year, which, by the way, is why most people don't accomplish their year-long goals. They're all going to do it. Hey, guess what? We're coming up on the time of year. I didn't get it. It didn't happen for me in 2024, but 2025, I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, and that, and that. And then it's just big, broad. And then there's no plan for the first week of January. No plan for the month of January. And so guess what? By February, they give up. So whatever it is you're going to do, break it down into smaller goals. All right, guys, we are right at 1:30. Here's what I want to do. Put messages in the Discord of what you're going to get done over this next 5 weeks we have till the end of the year. Make those goals public. It's called a force function. Here's the other thing I want you to message out there. I'm going to be gone the next 3 Mondays traveling to go see folks. I got Detroit, I got Oakland, and then I've got that Salt Lake City, Dallas, Atlanta run that I do. So who would you like to have on the call? What are some guests that inspire you? What are some people in the alliance that you're like, dude, if we could get that lady, if we could get that man, if we could get that person, just pop it in the Discord. We'll see what some popular ones pop up as. And then I'll use all the political currency I've got to make those happen over the next 3 weeks. So who would you love to see? Like, dude, I saw them at convention. They were so good. I'd love to get them on this call just for our team. So put those out there as well. Guys, the reason for the subject today is, one, we just passed Alex Abian. I just love the way that sounds. I love Alex Abian, though, too. I love and respect that guy a lot. But determination is what made that happen. Determination is what's going to make the next 5 weeks better. Determination is what's going to make your 2025 the best year in the history of your family. That's what Holly and I want. We want you to stack years on years of the best year in the history of our family. This year we were able to do the best trips in the history of our family. This year we were able to give away more money than we ever have in the history of our family. We want you to stack that stuff one on the other. Holly and I want 2025 to be the best year in the history of your family. For that to happen for you and for that to happen for us, for me, we are going to have to attack the next 5 weeks with a crazy amount of determination. That's going to put us into 2025 absolutely, completely on fire and taking over in 2025. Guys, we love you. Let's get out. Let's get after it.